In October of 2022, at the Yates Baptist Association annual meeting, an announcement was made that an ad hoc committee would be formed to look into a name change. At the semi-annual meeting this past April, that committee proposed the name change from Yates Baptist Association to Triangle West Church Network. As we prepare for the special called business meeting on Tuesday, May 16th, we wanted to take a moment and address the main question we've been facing. Why change the name at all?
So really, again, a lot of conversations happening talking about a name change, but the Restart committee or ad hoc group really started during, I guess, COVID. And we wrestled with a lot of things, talked about our identity as an entity, as an organization. We talked about our mission statement. We talked about a lot. And through that, a number of changes have happened. We decided on a statement of faith, Baptist Faith and Message 2000. We came up with a new vision statement and a new mission statement. And so because of all of that has happened, it seems like this is the right time to change a name. This is the right time to go along with the changes we've already made to say this is who we are, this is what we do, and to be able to package that together with a new name, a new purpose, a new vision.
Anytime, at least my sense is, when you ask me to change or you ask an organization to change, especially changes that are related to things that are near and dear to us, there's always a suspicion, well, maybe there's some hidden agenda. Maybe there's somebody trying to make me or us something that we are not. And knowing this team that is bringing us this name change recommendation, Tri-West, I know they have only one thing in mind. This change hopefully gives us a way that's simple, it's concise, and it just helps us effectively communicate who we are. And so rather than trying to make us something we are not, I really think this name change to Tri-West allows us to be who we are.
I have served on multiple future vision teams, or whatever the name, they change the name. It's the same sort of thing. We try to project the future and make plans and change structures and that sort of thing. And this discussion has come up on each one of those teams that I've served about the name change or a name reconsideration.
Yeah, so I mean, pretty much the population has doubled in the I guess 30 years I've been here, and it's even projected even growing even quicker when you look at the whole region. But particularly in Durham, it's grown a lot, and the thing about it is that the population growth has been going this way, and most church growth has been going this way.
Mega changes. Lots of different changes, lots of growth, lots of infrastructure changes, a total change in the way people live their lives, and communities that were previously sparsely populated now have high density population, a great deal of change.
And so that's the struggle. When you look at all the different churches that have closed down in the 30 years I've been here, it really breaks your heart, because a lot of them were in areas that right now are growing like crazy. And if they would have just hung in there and stayed in there and reached their community, they would probably be thriving right now. So that's our big challenge right now, I believe, that just trying to make that transition, because whether we like it or not, it's here. And if we're not willing to make that transition, then we're going to go by the wayside.
The name Triangle originated because of 3 schools. And everyone knows, and depending on what order you prefer, Duke or Carolina or NC State. Because of that, we have a lot of international students who come to this area. We also have the research park, which we have a lot of internationals who come to work here. Many of those students who come to study here stay here. So there is today this area is so much different than the way it was 50 years ago, but also what it was 5 days ago. People are coming every day, many of them with different cultures, different languages, and many of them without Christ. And so as Matthew Tyson Yates went to what back then they called the heathen, or those who were far from God, we have those who are far from God but who are not far from us. And they're right here in our neighborhoods. So we still want to send people across the world. We still need to send people across the world, but we've also got to train people to go across the street.
That was the impact. The impact was thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people moved here, either for education or for medical reasons or for jobs. And so now they're all here, and it's thousands of people. And so for us as a church, that's the impact. How do we impact the people of the Triangle region to try to reach them for Christ when they come from all over the world?
You know, in this process, we've talked about it, and really it's been said a number of times, but Matthew Tyson Yates left from here because there was a lost world out there. But now the world has come to us. And Matthew Tyson Yates grew up about probably 30 minutes from where I'm talking to you right now. Had an Apex address, if you will, but he went to Shanghai, China. Now the world has come to the Triangle.
We're in a different environment now. We're in a growing megaplex environment where lots of areas are being covered, and associations have changed. The way they do ministry and the way they are involved in helping to connect churches together has changed. So now there needs to be sort of rebranding, if you will. I feel like that's very important in the days ahead.
As a part of the changes that we've gone through the last few years, we really solidified who we are and what we do. And so we use these terms a lot: strengthen, to plant, and to resource. In fact, I'm all the time saying SPR, strengthen, plant, resource. And I want people to remember that. But that's what we want to do. And so the church is God's plan A. So therefore, we want to strengthen God's church. We want to strengthen the local church. We want to plant new churches, because that's the way new people are reached. It's healthy to plant churches. The church was meant to reproduce itself. And then we want to be a resource to the churches. And so as we do that, we want to see here in the Triangle and beyond, we want to see other churches strengthened and planted and resourced. We want to see our churches working together. Maybe there's large churches that can plant multiple churches, but maybe the average sized church can't plant a church, or they think they can. But as we work together to help connect them with another church, maybe other groups together, 2 or 3 churches planting a church, 2 or 3 churches helping another church when they need some help with their music, another church that needs some help with outreach, another church can help. So we're really working as a connector, bringing those churches together to fulfill the task that God's given to each of those churches.
But growth requires change, and we're not always willing to do it. And as individuals, we would tend to want to have self-control of every situation and remain where we are, because we tend to resist. But what I want to ask you to do is just pray and ask the Lord to lead you, because He will lead us to His will, not ours.
So like many things, this has been a process. And talking about a name change, as I mentioned, has been, at least for me, since I've been a part of the association. And as the rebranding team has begun to meet, and really the last 5 or 6 months, we've had ongoing conversations. As we got to a proposal, and as we got to even talking about something regional, and then the name, I was not sold at first. But as I began to hear it and hear more of the reasoning behind it, and think about it and pray about it, I warmed up to the idea first. And then as I began to talk to more people, I began to get excited about it, because I believe that this gives us a regional identity, and the statement of faith gives us a purpose to do our mission. And so I'm really excited about Tri-West or Triangle West Church Network, and I like each of those words. And I think that's important to help people understand. For me, it's been a process. So maybe as you think about it now, maybe you're not sold on it, but would you pray about it? Would you think about it and see what God might do in your hearts?